We have a card, Erin Cummings. She's a cast member of the Detroit 187. Thank you for being here, Erin.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
You have to hold the button down.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm not used to having to hold a microphone. They usually wire me. Thank you so much for having me here. It's definitely an honor to be able to speak towards you. Thank you. It's definitely an honor to be here. I flew in last night because my cousin, young 23-year-old Leah Moss, is the new editor-in-chief and publisher of Detroit's first men's magazine, Jack Detroit. So I wanted to support that. And also, I'll be attending the Belle Isle Preservation Luncheon on Wednesday. So I came in. For those of you who don't know, I was a series regular on Detroit 187 on ABC. I played Dr. Abby Ward. And the reason I use past tense is because while we've been sitting here, ABC has announced that Detroit 187 has officially been canceled. Obviously, this is very emotional for me. But it's not emotional because I'm scared I won't work again. I'm actually been very fortunate. I'm working on a project with Vin Diesel right now back in LA. But it makes me emotional because I think about my friends and my family here in Detroit that I worked with on Detroit 187. And I know that for the actors and the writers, we'll go back to LA and we will get other jobs and we will move on with our lives. But for Liz Jackson, who was our caterer, our craft service professional, for our transportation drivers, for our seamstresses, for the people who are working on our crew, there is no job waiting. And now they have to figure out what they're going to do. And for some of them, that means trying to find a new industry to get into, and that is sad. A couple of things that I want to talk about now that we know that news is, you know, when I first found out that I was going to be coming to Detroit, like a lot of people who have never been here, I wasn't terribly thrilled. And part of that is because, as some of you may be aware, Detroit doesn't really have the best reputation. However, from people that lived in Detroit and had been here, all they said was, go. You will love it. It's an amazing place. So I came here with an open heart and an open mind. One of the first things that I did was I went to a Tigers game. And I said, well, any city that has a ballpark like this obviously has something else to offer that's going to be pretty special. And I was right. My experience living in Michigan and Detroit, just in the 7 months that I was here filming, has completely opened my eyes, not just to an amazing world of beautiful landscapes, which I think are perfect for any type of production and whatever their needs may be, but also very capable and competent crew people. And that is an industry that is only increasing with the technological schools that are forming and the classes that people are taking, wanting to educate themselves. Last night, I ran into a group of Michigan State graduates, all film graduates. So excited to go into producing and directing. And I said, great, what are you going to do this summer? And they said, we're all going to Chicago. I said, why are you going there? They said, because there's nothing in Detroit. We can't get an internship here. There's not enough jobs here. And that is really sad, because with the amount of talent that Michigan is training, Michigan needs to hold on to that talent and doesn't need to ship it off to New York or Chicago or Los Angeles or Atlanta or New Orleans or anywhere else. It needs to stay right here. I don't get paid to add or subtract. I get paid to cry on cue and hit my mark. So I can't talk about what the numbers and cents are of this bill. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. All I know is what I see when I look at the faces of the people who are directly affected by this. While here, Detroit and the citizens of Michigan made such an impact on my heart that I decided that I wanted to do something more and I wanted to give back. So I started a community initiative called Mittens for Detroit. Our goal was to collect and distribute mittens to people that were in need in the city. And we were hoping to get maybe 500, in a perfect world, 1,000. We came up with this idea on November 1st, and it finished on March 13th. And in those few months, we collected and distributed more than 9,500 pairs of gloves to people in need in Michigan. While we did this, thank you. And one of the interesting things is that while we were doing this, I also, we needed boxes. Well, where do we go? We went to Michigan Box Company. Well, then, when people wanted to give us money, which we weren't 501c3, We said, well, we need to send these people places where they can buy gloves. Where do we send them? We sent them to Broner Hatton Glove Company, a 77-year-old Michigan-based glove company that's now owned by third-generation owner Bob Broner. When we looked for sponsors, we didn't go to Lowe's or to Home Depot. We went to ACO Hardware, and they sponsored us. We went to the Detroit Tigers. They sponsored us. Quicken Loans, which is based in the city of Detroit, they sponsored us. American Coney Island, a legacy, a historical monument. I know some of you Lafayette people are right now like, I know what she's talking about. I got a debate last night. I was like, American. We're going to have to put that on the record. However, what I noticed is that...
No, everything you say is on the record.
So what I realized is that, yes, Detroit 187 was giving people jobs, and Detroit 187 was bringing our guest stars in who were all staying at hotels downtown, and they were spending their per diem and eating at the local restaurants and going to the local plays and the concerts and really feeding that industry. But another thing, in the other activities that we were doing, such as my charity, we had an event at MGM which brought 1,000 people to a comedy show. Now, I knew most of those people, and I can guarantee you at least 800 of them would never have stepped foot in downtown Detroit on a Saturday night for entertainment purposes. But they did, and what they found was that there's some great restaurants downtown, and it is safe to cross 8 Mile. So in addition to all those other things that I've been talking about, there is a wonderful sense of pride that comes from reminding people that Michigan is okay and Detroit is okay, and that's a message that needs to be spread loud and clear. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have LA birds like me who come in for a couple months, fall in love with the city, and decide to stick around and continue doing some good, and then go back to our respective homes and continue spreading that message. We tweet about it, we Facebook it, we talk about it in newspapers across the country. That's what we do, and that's one of the benefits of having people come in. Mittens for Detroit, I'm happy to say we just met with a community foundation today, North Woodward Community Foundation. We're now 501c3, so we will be able to accept financial donations. And despite this really disturbing news today, my charity will continue. But this is something that would not have even happened if Detroit 187 weren't here filming. I would never have been in Michigan. I would never have fallen in love with this city and the people, and I would never have been able to do the good that we've been able to do through my charity work. So I know how special this is, that we preserve it, and if there's anything that I can continue to further do to help in this cause, please contact me.